Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tune Project. Today we're going to be talking all about the importance of fiddle ornaments within a tune and how they can really make all the difference. You may have seen those videos that I've been posting lately where I'll play just the plain melody of a tune with no added ornaments, and then I follow that up with adding in some ornaments, double stops, extra notes, and different things to make it a little bit more interesting. And you can probably hear when you're listening side by side to both versions how truly different the second one sounds, and in some cases it doesn't even necessarily sound like the same tune. So today I'm going to be showing you just how I do that, what my thought process is when I go about adding in different types of fiddle ornaments, and how you can do the same. And the tune I'll be using today as an example is Ashokan Farewell, which I have a tutorial for here on the Tune Project, and you can also find the sheet music for it in my digital sheet music library. If you enjoyed this video and find it to be helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up below, and if you're not yet subscribed to the Tune Project, I post videos just like this one each and every week, so consider hitting that red subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you don't miss out when I upload a new video. And be sure to stay tuned until the end of this video for a special announcement. So to give you an example, I'm going to go ahead and play the first couple of phrases of Ashokan Farewell with no ornaments, just the plain melody, notes, rhythms, very simple. And then I'm going to play the same two phrases but with added ornaments and see if you can hear the difference. So you can probably hear that the difference between the two versions, ornaments versus no ornaments, is pretty significant, right? So what I tend to look for when adding in additional things, be it ornaments, double stops, what have you, are the sustained notes, because those are really the easiest to pinpoint. What are those notes that are held a little bit longer that we can throw in something a little bit more interesting? And in the case of the example that I just used with those first couple of phrases of Ashokan Farewell, we have two very distinct places where we sustain a particular note. So that being the D, the very first D that we have, and then the F sharp. So those are the first two places that I'm gonna look for, because those just sort of stand out a little bit more within the phrase as a spot to just easily incorporate something of interest. So in this case, with that example that I showed you with the two side by side, I incorporated a double stop for each of those. So I had just that octave double stop for the first one, just the open D along with that third finger D, and then for the sustained F sharp, I just played that against an open A. And so that's a really easy way to just add something, some sort of layer into the tune, especially if you're not super familiar with ornaments, or even if you don't necessarily want to add a ton of double stops. This is a great way to just sneak a few of those additional layers in without doing too much or doing something that maybe you're not fully comfortable with yet. Another thing I typically look for are scale patterns where we have any ascending or descending notes moving in stepwise motion. So in this case, within the first phrase of Ashokan Farewell, there's a really clear scale that we have descending down to open A. So that's a great place to throw in a turn, which you probably heard me do. And that just makes it a little bit more interesting. Instead of just keeping the scale, we're throwing in a few extra notes. because we already have that descending pattern. So what we're doing with these additional notes is we're just following that same pattern. So if it's an ascending pattern, you could do the same thing. As long as the notes are moving in stepwise motion, you can typically really easily throw a turn in there. And speaking of turns, if you are unfamiliar with what that is or any of the other terms that I'm going to be using within this video, I do have a playlist on my channel called Fiddle Techniques, where I go into detail and explain all of these different little techniques. And so if you're interested in that, if you're interested in ornaments, then feel free to check that out. So another thing that I used in this example was a unison double stop when I was coming down to my 4th finger D on the G string. And I actually utilized 2 different techniques there. So not only the unison double stop where we had our 4th finger D along with open D, but also I slid into that 4th finger D, which you can do. And that just sort of adds another nice little texture, a nice little bit of interest to that particular note. And then toward the end, as I was coming out of that arpeggio, when I landed on the E string, I added in a hammer-on. And then had a little roll down to open E. So that was another place where I heard that I was just going to be on the same note. Those are just the melody notes. And I decided that, well, because we're just staying on the same note, we might as well add a little bit of interest to it. And then since we're coming down from F sharp to open E, we have that step there. It's really easy to just throw in an additional note, in which case I added in my G. So we had that little G, F sharp, E walk down. And you'll notice that with each of these notes that I'm adding, it doesn't interrupt the phrase. None of them interrupts the melody. You can still clearly hear the melody notes and the grace notes or the ornaments. You can tell that these additional notes are just sort of seamlessly incorporated, and that is the goal. We don't want any of them to really stick out or sound as though they are part of the melody. We want the melody to still be the focal point, but these ornaments and these grace notes are really there to serve as just extras. That's why they're called ornaments, because they're really to be used as decorative pieces, and we don't want to overwhelm the melody with ornaments, but throwing in and sprinkling in a few here and there really does make all the difference and is highly encouraged when it comes to fiddle playing. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that gave you a little bit of insight as to what I tend to think of when I am incorporating ornaments into a fiddle tune, what I look for and listen for, and I hope that you can start to do the same if you're not already within your own fiddle playing. And if you stuck around until now, you are in luck, because I am doing yet another giveaway with LR Bags. Last time I gave away their violin pickup, and this time I'm going to be giving away their Session DI, which is the DI box that I use every time I perform. This DI is so great to have on hand if you ever find yourself in a performance situation, or even if you aren't performing yet. A DI can be great to have just so that you can hear yourself in a different way and be able to plug into a sound system. So if you are interested in winning this Session DI from LR Bags, all you have to do is give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to the Tune Project, and leave a comment below on this video letting me know how long you've been playing the violin. I would love to know. The giveaway starts now, and you have until Sunday the 18th to enter. For mailing purposes, you must be a resident of the US to enter, and the winner will be randomly selected. And that's it. That's all you have to do to enter this giveaway. I hope to see lots of your names down below, and I wish you the best of luck. I'll see you in the next video. Happy practicing. If you've made it this far, you must have enjoyed the video, so why not check out this one next? Also, if you'd like exclusive content from the Tune Project and a more personalized experience, head over to Patreon and join our wonderful little fiddle community. Your support helps me to continue to grow as a creator and ensures that I'm able to continue to provide free educational content here on YouTube. Thank you!